Yes, we are here. Then many of us are here to be able to witness this event and this conversation that you're about to have. How can we help you today?
Thank you for coming through. So, how would you describe yourself?
We are collective beings who are here. There is Joanne's higher self, and then there are some other beings who are here. It's your team as well. And there is just other curiosity beings here that are wanting to feel into the energy and be able to provide their experiences and their information to help with this connection.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. All of you are welcome. The first question is there a flat earth?
Hmm. There is a flat earth in many people's minds, and that collective consciousness is growing. It is not, as we see it, your planet being flat. It is an Ethereum like format where there is the center, which is Agatha, and then there is your plane of surface. So it is not round and it is not flat. There is many dimensions to the physical of the planet. It is not really been accurately described and shown in any format that you would think you have, whether it is on your personal maps or globes or even with footage from space. It is quite different, but it is really fine because it doesn't matter what your Earth and your planet shape is, because you're still needing to focus on the things that do matter for you. Um, but the summary of why people need to start questioning everything, including the shape of your planet, is to unravel all of the nonsense and the lies that you have been told for all of your lifetimes. And so, this is a great example of starting to question everything. And truly, at the end of your days, does it matter what shape your earth is? You need to respect other people's belief systems and feelings about what they feel as they're processing and understanding all of their surroundings and understanding what feels right for them and using their intuition. The worst thing you can do, really, to support someone who's trying to grow in their spirituality is to poo poo them or doubt them, or refuse them to have their feelings or belief systems. No one's belief systems are really impacting your own. And so, while you should be comfortable with your own belief systems, you should be allowed to let others have their own. And this is about compassion for each other, support for each other, and not being so insecure with your own belief systems that it pressurizes you to feel like you have to promote your belief systems over everyone else's. And this goes for more things than just the flat earth debate. It goes for religion and spirituality and politics and how you feel there's the most appropriate foods to eat. And there is so much that makes you all individual beings. And while you're confident in the way that you're living, we keep asking you to check in with yourself and your daily routines to make sure that whatever you're doing is the best for you and you're not blindly following routine after routine, hoping that this is the most appropriate thing for you. We're wanting you to stop and think and question everything that you're doing and be making sure that everything you're naturally doing is giving you the most best uh, service for yourself.
Okay, thank you. So, if we look at the 3D and the physical, is the Earth round? If we just focus on the 3D physical aspect?
Well, it is it is a flat surface that does have a curvature to it.
Okay, is it like the round globe, and then if you cut it in half, then the top part will be Earth?
No.
No. How would you further describe that?
We would say we're giving Joanne the view of it being more like a football, where it is got elongated ends, and so it is not round, it is not flat in its totality, but it is something else. It is elliptical.
Oh, I see. And have the humans now, in the recent 100 years, have they left Earth, like to the moon or to Mars?
Have people journeyed outside of their planet's orbit? Um, People have traveled metaphysically. And are you asking if people have traveled physically to the moon and to Mars?
Yes, physically, yes.
Hmm. Well, Mars has been a very active spot for many humans. There has been many activities happening there. And you're asking in the last 100 years?
Yes, correct.
Yes, there has been. There has been many people who have been collected with ships and have been taken to many parts of the universe. And so that has been happening throughout your history as humans on this planet. And so some have been merely picked up and being worked on and returned, and others have been collected and taken. And most of those who have been taken, it was part of an agreement, and it was an amazing opportunity. And sometimes it has been not so free will based. And so there has a lot that has happened as some beings go around the universe and collect specimens. So that is not something we want people to be afraid of, because there is more federational rules and guidelines now, and you are more protected than you have been in the past. And so your question has been, has man been able to create ships to travel to the moon and to travel to Mars? And we say yes, man has traveled to the moon, only to discover it is not what they are believing, what you are believing it is. It is not a round floating rock. And then Mars has had many projects happening to it in the past, and it was earlier on in the last century that you are in. But there's been a lot of conflict there and a lot of challenges there, and it has not been what it was originally purposely in hope to become. It was originally hoped to be able to do um, start another colony on Mars that could thrive and survive. And there was a lot of ethical experiments that happened there, which could not have been done here on this earth. Ironically, many different types of experiments, which are what we would perceive as unethical in terms of mixing and splicing DNA of other beings to merge hybrids, which did have many times got civilizations into a lot of trouble. So there has been travel, but it never has the great success stories. And as we see now, the base on Mars is not flourishing as it had hoped and planned.
Okay, thank you. So when you said that they went to the moon and it was not what they expected, so then how was the moon? Or how
Mhm.
is
Well, it is a satellite. It is not round. It is a satellite, and it is very confusing for them. They went as trained scientists and trained astronauts They were preparing themselves to experience something that they had firmly believed was going to be a round rock. And then they arrived there realizing something was quite different. They were not alone there. It did freak them out. And they were surprised what they discovered. And then they came down back to earth and they were heavily discouraged from saying the truth. It was all for theatricals to be able to make America look like they were more advanced with their technology. Of course, most bigger countries are advanced with their technologies, but they're not sharing it publicly. And so there was needing to be a display of public proportion for humanity to see who could win the race of space to be able to go to the moon.
Okay. And so what we see in the sky, we see a round moon. So it's, on the other side is flat. It's just a flat surface, a disk.
Hmm. Yes, we see it as it's not flat. It has got a face to it, but the back of it is not what you would perceive it to be. It doesn't match through. And so the only face that you see on Earth is the only part of the satellite that you can see. And it's just, we can't explain to you what the back looks like because it's the same on the other side, but it is different. It's more machinery. It is more it is more it is more the back of it. It's like the stage props. You see the front of the fake tree, and then you see on the back side of it propped up um, machinery. It's like machinery. It is like equipment and machinery that is on the backside of it.
Oh, okay. And who created the moon?
It was left there and created there by a different race that was propped there. It was not the original moon that the Earth had. You did have a little floating rock that was your original moon. And so this satellite has been copied to look like your original moon, but it is not your original moon. And so well, unsure, we're questioning now what happened to your original moon. Um, and we're trying to see what happened to your original moon. We're seeing that it was taken away, and we don't see that taken away by some of the beings. We feel like that left your orbit. And so then, but on purpose at that convenient time, it was replaced with this satellite, which was then used to be able to check in and see what was happening to humanity at this time. So it was listening devices and checking in to be able to see what you guys are doing, but also to be able to, for the beings that are here needing to connect back directly to other planets. There's a satellite dish, as you would imagine a satellite dish being used. It was used both ways.
Oh, I see. So it was mainly to replace the original moon.
Mm-hmm. But the original moon was not functional in any way. It was just like an extra toe. It's not needed, and so it was the um, we're seeing that it was perfect for that to be removed, and then it was pushed out of your orbit for then the new moon to take its place. We're finding it very interesting why this would really need to happen, but we see that it is for surveillance, and the use of the satellite is being very helpful for many beings to report back what is happening here. So it is merely an exchange of connections, but it is not functioning as well as it has been. We see that it is corroding down, breaking down. It is not as it's not as strong as it used to be connectivity wise. But it doesn't matter because there are so many beings now in your stratosphere overwatching everything. So it hasn't really needed to be maintained or upgraded.
Oh, I see. And can you see what kind of timeline was when they implemented the satellite moon dish?
It was hundreds of years ago, and our accountability is probably about 1,000, maybe.
Okay, so was it when after the dinosaurs or before the dinosaurs?
And we would say after the dinosaurs.
Okay, when humanity started to flourish.
Well, humanity was here while dinosaurs were here as well.
Mhm.
So, it depends on what you want to classify as humanity.
Oh, I see. And you mentioned that there's some beings in the moon when the humans went there. So are what type of beings are there?
They were just observing, they were monitoring, so they were docked as well. So they were just exploring the moon and what the surface was, really. And from a safe distance, they had landed there as well on their own spaceships. They had all docked into the satellite. So they were there observing for a while. So it was, humanity was not supposed to tamper with the satellite, and so it was very firmly put to them to stop.
Oh, okay. And what do those beings look like?
Physical, we would say more like small greys.
Oh, I see. And can you show Joanne how does Earth look like from the moon?
Mm. Yeah, it is. The moon's so close to the surface of the planet that you can't see the real totality of the shape of the Earth because it's so close. You would have to move out further and further away from the planet to be able to see it in its totality shape.
Oh, I see. So can you move Joanne further out so she can see the totality of the shape?
Yeah, we could, but we are wondering again the purpose of your questioning because it seems like you're still stuck on the smaller details when we are here to be able to help you with much bigger questioning. So we're starting to wonder if you are not wanting bigger, purposeful information over smaller details. But we can send Joanne out for sure to see it, and we can show her what the Earth looks like. And it is, again, as we said to you beforehand, it is an elliptical shape. So, what more would you like us to tell you?
Just to have a perspective from a human mind, there's a lot of people that are questioning the flat earth and they seem very confused about it. And they just wanted to get as much detailed information also for other people as well.
But remembering what we said to you earlier, when people need to be able to question their own integrity and intentions and their own intuition to finding out what really matters for them. And it's just like how we do not give you all the information about the universe because it really does not matter for your own lives right now when you're trying to focus on something greater and bigger, which is about humanity evolving and transitioning into a newer state of frequency, of state of mind and physicality. And so while we understand and appreciate that you're curious about the smaller details, each individual person is able to believe and have belief systems that really do not matter to their true purpose right now on this planet.
Correct. I couldn't agree more. And does the moon rotate around the earth?
The moon does move around the earth as a station, as a satellite, but it is stationary in terms of it does not move around itself. It does not change. It simply just scoots around the surface of the planet.
Okay. And does Earth rotate on its own and then rotate around the sun?
The Earth does stay stationary as the moon rotates around, and we are seeing that it is the sun that is the directional. It's almost as if the sun is moving around. The Earth is not stagnant, but it is not moving as you would perceive it to be rotating around the sun. The Earth is a much more fragile planet, which is, we're trying to see if other planets are doing the same thing. The sun is not your center point for your collection of planets, and we are seeing that there is other movements that are not as you have been described.
Okay, so does the sun move around the Earth like the moon?
Yes, but it has a bigger orbit, and so it is. You want to say we want you to flip the positioning of the planets that are moving around. We're showing a lot of different planets moving around, and we're saying that the Earth does move, but not at the speed you have been told, and it is. We're trying to like show her the whole play of it. But again, words to describe this is not going to be of much benefit to many people listening.
Okay. And what about the rest of the planets? Do they move around the sun or around Earth? Or how would you explain that?
The planets that you've been told are there, they have different functions. So then what you're saying, so the whole system of what you've been told, how it all works around each other, is actually is not true. And there is different, as we said, there is different movable parts here. But you really need to stop listening to what you've been told about the planetary systems. And if you want proof, you really need to go and get your own experiences with telescopes, no, the bigger ones, and be able to really check in for yourselves. Because the whole space thing is really being, you have been misguided into what you're actually surrounding and how it all sort of works. So people may want to hold on to the belief systems of how they've been told of the line tree, the planets and their alignments, and how they all just circle around each other, around the central of the sun. But we're saying to you, it doesn't work like that. And so is another example of listening to, in quotation marks, the professionals and blindly trusting what you be told versus the reality of what's actually happening. But again, you should be focusing more on what's actually happening to your planet and be more focused on what is being manipulated and controlled and you are being told so much distruths. This is what you should be focusing mostly on, rather, and because that's more provable. What's happening on your planet right now is more provable. The information we can provide for you is more provable. That the corruptions and the crimes that have been happening that you all need to like scratch through. This is something that we could tell you exactly how it is all movable and how it's all functioning, but it doesn't matter because you're on this planet right now needing to focus on the bigger important things that can be provable. And we don't want you to really waste your time, your very precious time, dealing with science, outer space stuff, because it has been taken and misused against so many.
Yes, and thank you for that. And why are we being told all these lies about a round earth and how things actually work?
Because you're being led forever to trust the narrative of what other people say. And so you are constantly questioning the integrity of that information as a younger child. But because you don't feel like it resonates with you, then you feel like you are wrong. And so it's about disencouraging and disempowering your own intuition from the very get go. And so everything is not as it seems, because it's all purposeful to make you feel that you are so disconnected from your intuition that you give up and you just blindly accept what you've been told.
Oh, okay, so it's more like an initiation of being told lies since we were little.
Well, it's about controlling you. It's controlling you to, and you can't be controlled if you have strong intuition. So it is about confusing you from the get go and punishing you if you try to write in a test, the earth is not round. So you are then embarrassed and amongst your peers, with your C grade, embarrassed because you can't tell the truth about your intuition on the exams. You must follow blindly what you were told and apply that information and repeat that information and be tested on that information to make sure that you are listening, to make sure that you're blindly following and you are accepting and being controlled in the narrative of how humanity is being forced to think and therefore not feel and not think independently. So this is for so many things.
Oh, okay, thank you. And what is happening to the planet right now?
Would you like us to give you an answer to that that's more specific? Because the planet and what's going on right now is a very big topic.
Yes. Let's start with the weather. What's going on with the extreme weather about, snow and areas that doesn't really snow all over the globe?
Yes, it's very suspicious, isn't it, that there is so much changeable weather that is broken records and histories of predicted weather patterns. So once again, this is technology that is being used to control. Right now, there is a lot of control, a lot of manipulation happening to people, and how do you get them to be more afraid? How do you get people to feel so isolated and um, so scared? You take away their freedoms, and you take away their comfortable lives that they deserve, by throwing massive, in quotation marks, natural disasters their way. So then they suddenly have to stop and be more in fear than they ever have been, or more displaced. You just take away people's freedoms and make them think about their mortality, and you have controlled the masses. And so, with this weather manipulation that has been happening, this is not new technology. This is them showing how powerful they are, showing how they can, without caring about humanity and the people that are being affected by it, how they can, say, with a flip of a switch, control so much. This is not approvable by us. We are not appreciating the experience for the many who are um, cold and discomfort. This is not how we would want humanity to treat humanity. We are watching this very closely, and we are waiting for this to play out. There is bonuses and benefits, however, for people having to be in such extreme weathers. They are having to really rely on each other, not just for body warmth, but to really, really get down to the very basics of what really matters for them, keeping warm and keeping fed. And for many of those people experiencing these extreme weathers, they've never had to get to that extreme of survival. And so they can release all of their other 3D drama, shall we say. We're not trying to be discourteous, but it is really bringing people to humble basics and really working together as teams. Communities truly can connect with each other because you're all on the same working field, or the same playing field. So we can see that there is bonuses for the connection for humanity, and it is purposeful. So we are allowing this to happen, but we are monitoring this very seriously. And of course, people have chosen this to be exit points, and there is so much manipulation and control. This is just another process of it. Will the majority of humanity know that the weather has been manipulated so badly that you can pick and choose coordinations and be able to dump heaps of snow and create a lot of changes and a lot of challenging situations. Most average normal person would never, ever, ever in their entire desired lives need to even question that, because they feel so comfortable with the world and they feel like they're good citizens. So who on earth would want and do and have so much control? Most people think that they have this free will, that they are good citizens because they're following the rules and they create their worlds and their lives. And so many people would never even question that. They would see this as a natural situation with the global warming events that everyone has been told about. And so this is going to make them be more conscious of the environment, and be more conscious about recycling and reusing things. So there is a bigger lesson here for many, many, many people. But again, as we say, we are not that satisfied with the way that this is happening. We did not want or need for humanity to have such suffering, for those people who have been without power. And so, there is lots of consequences there for everyone's actions who have been involved in the weather manipulation.
Right. And who is involved in the weather manipulation?
There's many people that are wanting to control and disfranchise communities and dispower people. So it is still the same characters who are trying to dominate the world and control the world into fear.
Oh, I see. And who are these characters?
These are people who are in power, who have money, that they have been able to work through this technology and be able to manipulate people. So this isn't government level. These are private citizens who are wanting to impact impact humanity for their own purpose, their own desires, their own control, their own kicks and giggles.
Oh, I see. Why do they have this need of control?
Because they want to be the only people that are in power. They are wanting to remove a lot of the population because they feel that there is scarcity, and they don't want to have to compete with others. They are wanting to keep their countries as they want them to be seen, and so they are wanting to make people afraid of them. They're showing how powerful they are with their technology. It's the same ego, same control, same manipulation, same everything that is truly the problems with your planet right now.
I see. Is it appropriate to know some of the names of these people?
It is not necessary to name and shame. You will know who they are. You need to keep getting and focusing on the bigger picture rather than focusing on small details, because the purpose is supposed to be the most appropriate thing for you to notice. These people also have a role to help awaken humanity, even though they look like, in quotation marks, the bad guys. So while you're spending your time hating the bad guys, you are not spending your time putting back into the collective unconditional love, because you're still feeling like you're a victim. You're still not seeing the bigger purpose and lessons here. So you're still part of the problem when you're not able to accept that all of this, everything that is happening on your planet, is to awaken humanity. And when you awaken, you must then be the responsible beings to be able to put unconditional love back into the planet, loving everything and waiting for everyone else to wake up.
Okay, I see. Thank you for that. And how do we help humanity to wake up, like individually?
You be a good example and role model, and being able to accept that there is bad things that are happening, quotation marks, bad things that are happening, and you are aware of them, but you are not going to go into fear, into worry, into feeling vulnerable. You are going to emotionally release all of those lower emotions and be able to be empowered by yourself to fully love yourself, knowing that everything is purposeful, and be able to provide bigger unconditional love, not to yourself, not just to yourself, but to all beings, all beings. So stop with the hating of these certain groups of beings that you feel are the monsters or the naughty people or the bad people, because everyone's playing a role in this play, and you must be able to be okay with all of the lessons that everyone is experiencing and being exposed to. And so therefore you are able to see things from the bigger perspective of knowing this is all playing out to help awaken others. And so when you are adding fear into the collective grid, when you are adding victim to the collective grid, you are lowering the collective grid into a denser emotion. You must be able to be responsible and in control of your own emotions to be able to have a higher density of unconditional love to all of the bad guys, all of the people you are not happy with that are doing these crimes against humanity. You must be able to accept that all of it is part of the play, and therefore you will be able to see the end of the play soon, where everyone is in a higher frequency of unconditional love and acceptance.
Oh, I see. Thank you. And going back to the weather manipulation, how can you tell the difference between natural formation of snow and the one that is created, like the fake snow, let's say, for lack of terminology?
We're wanting to say that there is so much junk on your planet that your snow will look different, because there it is, snow is snow, it is frozen water, but because there is so much sprays and so much chemistry in your air, the water is freezing with other stuff that's in it. And so it doesn't matter if it is pure 100% water frozen that is on the land, or whether it is water that is frozen with other chemicals. It is still purposeful for it to be impacting your communities. So again, stop with the smaller details of things and be able to trust that there is that the environment is so heavily got so much other crap in it, shall we say, that it is collecting everything in your water, in your snow. And so this is just another example of you being shown how much pollution that is being purposely put into your environment to harm and impact you. And so, you should be thinking about the bigger things, about what's actually out there that people are doing to try and poison you, to be able to make you sick and vulnerable and afraid. So there is lots going on there. So yes, you can see, if you studied what's in your water, and actually go through and do lots of analyzing, you will be able to see exactly what's in that water. This is why we're saying you need pure water. You need to be able to get good sources of water for your body, because there is so much not pure. water out there, just like it's not pure air out there anymore. There is so much that has been put into your air, put into your water, put into your food. This is a huge conversation. This is so vast with everything, and even your organics and even your natural soils that you think are untampered not only have potentially pesticides in it, but also the energetics. If there has been some conflict over that land, that energy is still on that surface of the soil, and so it is energetically not so fantastic. So when you're consuming food from something that has a denser energy because of, say, certain crimes that have happened or events, shall we say, you're consuming that as well. So it's more than just what's in the food at a physical level, a nutritional level. It's energetic as well.
Okay. And why are they poisoning the water or putting all those chemicals in the water?
We're going to ask you, why do you think so?
To control humanity, to make them afraid? I don't know.
You're learning, and that's fantastic. Yes, you must start questioning and answering for yourself and understanding why. But are you triggered by it? Are you feeling frustrated, or are you understanding why you're trying to be controlled?
Yeah, I feel triggered. Yes.
Okay, yes, and that is fine because you are understanding that you need to wake up and trust that it is all purposeful, that you are not needing to be vulnerable or afraid. You do know how to manifest health. You do know how to protect yourself. You do know how you can pure the food and the water. So remembering you're not a victim here, you're not vulnerable to anything unless you go into fear, go into worry, and start consuming food thinking this sandwich is tasty, but it's probably going to kill me because it's full of toxins. Stop with your mindset of that and be able to control your mind and be able to release any worry and fear about it, knowing that it is going to be fine, knowing that your body has been upgraded to protect you, knowing that we know everything that is happening, knowing that we are supporting you, not just in the physical, but in the metaphysical, energetic wise. So you are still so in fear of so much that you are starting to know the truths about the things that are going on that humans are doing to humans, but you're still stuck in the emotional fear of being vulnerable. And so stop that, we recommend you to do, because you are more powerful with your mindset when you believe that you are safe and protected and that your body is naturally upgrading and it will not happen you will not be vulnerable to this. Remember, you are not the body. The body is just merely a coat you are wearing right now. And so keep reminding yourself that you are the bigger being. You can't take this body with you. And so accept that while they're trying to do things to your body that's not going to really enhance your body, are you also not guilty of providing and putting in food and other things into your body that is not honoring your body? So, you are also in control of doing that. And you are also guilty of probably putting in not the most best things into your body as well. So take responsibility for yourself, and be able to not only protect yourself emotionally, but physically, all the things that you're putting into your body.
Oh, okay, thank you. So, how do we protect ourselves if we're eating, I mean, drinking tap water? Is there anything we can do?
You can bless the water, you can add love to the water, you can ask for it to be cleansed and cleared, you can do so much to it. You can put it in the sun, you can believe and honor it and thank it. Water is very, very, very powerful. But if you keep thinking this is a piece of crap, horrible, yucky tasting water that's just ugh, you're not going to be able to manifest the beauty in it. You are going to manifest it being blah. So you must honor it all, knowing that it does have its own consciousness, and you can do so much to honor water, and you should be already doing so much to honor water. It is a gift for humanity to be able to connect in and truly nurture itself with water.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned you put it in the sun. What does that do if you put it in the sun?
It activates it more, it charges it up more, gives it more beneficial. It can start then producing other things within the water, which would sort of bloom, and then it keeps the water alive. Some of the water you are having is dead. It has nothing in it because it has been treated so heavily with the chemicals, and it has taken out. Your pure water that you really want has lots of life within it, and you are drinking dead water sometimes when you're having tap water because it's so heavily treated. And so when you do put it back in the sun and you give it love, then those energetic beings can come back and start nurturing itself within the water, activating it, increasing its vibration for you.
Oh, I see. Thank you. And how do we protect ourselves from the chemicals in the food, like fruits and vegetables?
We're going to ask you, how do you think that would work?
I think similar to the water, you bless it and you tell yourself that it's going to nourish your body.
Yes, we like that answer. And we feel that this is, we're not trying to pick on you, but we're wanting you to know you know all of these answers. You know all of these answers. And so it is about using your common sense and remembering how powerful you are and setting the correct intentions and controlling your mindset. You are going to naturally raise your vibration so high that you will be never vulnerable to the lower density of control and fear and any of the poisons or toxins that are out there. So, by naturally raising your vibration high, believing that you are protected and nurtured through life because you are a good person, because you deserve this, because you are a loving being who is here to help humanity, remembering everything positive and really feeling it, because we know a lot of people say these words but don't feel it, don't believe it. And you can't just mindlessly say to yourself, I am love, I am special, I am wonderful, and not feel it. You should be really impactfully saying, I am loved, I am special, I deserve to help humanity, whatever you want to be able to say as an affirmation. You need to be able to convince yourself and truly say it with integrity and honor. And saying words that are empty is not fulfilling anyone. And so own your words, own your feelings, and have those being correctly aligned with each other to be able to truly feed each other, not only yourself but your friends and your family, with true integrity felt words. And so we feel like we're lecturing you, but we truly love you. And we want you to just keep knowing that you know all of this, but you are still not applying all of the information that you know into your daily. And so again, we say go back to your routines of your daily routines and making sure that you are applying everything you know to do the best for yourself at every level, whether it's grabbing a glass of water or a quick snack. There's so much that you can empower yourself with when you control your mind and give and manifest pure, high intentional, unconditional love to yourself, and be able to appreciate and be have gratitude, be grateful for everything that you have. The glass of water is so valuable, and yet not many people respect it and honor it. And we want you to really go back to simply seeing and observing everything you're doing in your daily lives and making sure you're not adding into fear or worry, but you're giving into love and honor and respect. And as soon as you can implement that more in your daily life, you're going to just flourish within yourself, because it's impossible not to flourish when you're a high vibrational, unconditional being of service to self and others.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate the reminder and all the wisdom.
And it is just simply a reminder. We have said this so many times. And so it is about just starting to take responsibility for yourself and understanding that you are easily able to do all of the things that you really want for this world. And as soon as you start applying this to yourself and doing this as a regular routine, creating a new routine for yourself is going to be so easy. We just want people to get out of their old routines because they're blindly going through it. And we say that with love, and there is sort of not really that much growth when you're doing when you're doing routines that aren't really honoring you. And so we're not saying that you need to be grateful for every second and be really conscious of that. I mean, that would be fantastic, but it's not needed. We're just wanting people to start the process of being grateful for things that they haven't necessarily been grateful for. And anything that you're feeling frustrated about, triggered, or vulnerable, or afraid of, you need to look into that more and unpack it and figure out the purpose and the lessons and the reasons for it. That will help you so much feel more comfortable being here on this planet at this time.
Thank you very much for the information. Any parting words?
We love you. We're sorry that we felt like we were telling you off, but it was about focusing on the most important things that you need to focus on. There is, of course, great interest that is outside of this planet, but right now, we need to get people to honor themselves and take charge of their mindsets and really encourage them to be these high vibrational beings that they would love to be. And so we would love to have bigger conversations with you about all of the other stuff about the universe. But we want you to do your homework first. We want you to start improving your lives and taking control of that. And we will be here every step of the way for that. But we're wanting you to focus more because you all deserve these better, happier lives that are more authentic to your deserving than the limited lives you are allowing yourself to have at this moment. And we say this with much love.